Hey there team, so this is a pretty quick 2v2 that we did last night after a series of unfortunately failed games, but we managed to get this one done just with MSQ and Arius and I can't quite remember his name, but we'll catch him when we start off. I went for Rhun. I played Rhun quite a bit, but never really in an open field battle, so I wanted to see how I could do with them. Really went for a very elite or higher tier. Not really got any of the plebs that you can bring with Rhun. So 2 Loknar Rim up the front here, and the centre an E-Strong crossbows. Along the back line some Lok Gamp Rim, 3 of them there, and then some Lok Flag Rim, again 3 of them. I've got a Scion Rim on either side for the inspirational benefit, but primarily countering Cav. Some Sapphire Bladesmen over there, and then some standard Tribesmen on the side. Some Dragon's Wrath Guildsmen. One of our enemies was going to be in Ladris, and I wanted to get a more skilled unit that I could throw at these elves to sort of battle away with them for a bit. The Camel's chosen the centre, got my general. As I've said before, I like putting my general in an infantry unit. It just feels better for me. And then on the side here, 2 E-Strong clan chiefs, just to counter enemy cavalry is their main duty. I have MSQ2 over on my left. He's gone for Umbar. Up at the front, some Corsair archers, really nice and spread out Corsair archers. Some more elite Umbar archers behind them. So that's 2 units of Corsair archers up front, and then 2 units of these. Some ballista. I think he's still setting up, of course. I just wanted to start right here. Some Corsairs, more Corsairs, some Sentinels hiding there. Some Corsair fencers, Casimir's Legion. Of course, you're always, and next to them some Corsairs. So he's going for any armor upgrades for these Corsairs? He doesn't. No. Pikemen, and Corsairs. And Corsair Blackguards up the front, and some Corsair crossbow Corsairs, yeah. But yeah, no, so we'll get back to normal. I actually thought that I was the last person to finish deployment. That's why I started recording right now. But it seems not. I was actually I was taken by surprise because I'm used to deploying and then waiting for ages before the battle actually starts. But no, we all finished up really quite quick, and so as I say, I was caught off guard a little bit. I was kind of just daydreaming, and suddenly we started the battle. So he's going for a pretty simple, well, not really simple, but balanced formation, I would say, with his pikes set up there. Actually, Corsairs mixed in amongst the pikes. That's an interesting combination. Never really seen that before. But yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe I would say that would be a little bit better if we went for the Corsair infantry, but of course the Corsairs are going to be a lot cheaper than Corsair infantry. I'm just saying that because of the shield. This is still very susceptible to arrow fire, you know, with just very lightly armoured men. Certainly not lightly armoured men are these Imladris forces up here. Got some archers that will be able to, and I would say the more elite Umbar, these ones, the Narudubo Weep. Yeah, terrible. Absolutely terrible with the Umbar pronunciations, but yeah, they'll go toe to toe with these for a little while. But some Nuratino warriors probably got something hiding here too. I would expect some Elder Enway Hero Tal. There's the spears, some Nuratino Cav. I don't usually, well, when I do play in Ladris, I don't really go for the Nuratino Cav. I just tend to think that you're not really, you got some very light armor and then no shield as well. Actually, I don't think the armor's too light, but still, a lack of shield for Cav is always a scary thing for me. The Hero Myro at the back. Some Gwathi Arthand, some Ladris Sentries, some Ladris Guardians here without any armor upgrades. Some more Hero Atal on that flank, and some Gwathi Rockdoor. So pretty spread. That was something that I noticed immediately as we started. It's a very spread out formation, which you can get away with the elves because each unit is, or each, each unit is capable of fighting on their own pretty comfortably. The Royal Court of House Amlaith, Thick Deck, that was the guy. So yeah, next to him, some Forest Errant Knights. A lot of Evendom Spears, 4 units of them there. Some Men at Arms, 3 of them. And then behind that, we've got some Arthedain Pikes, 3 of them. Some Dismounted Knights of Illuminus, and then 2 units of Evendom Archers. And then on the other side, Forest Errant Knights and Knights of Illuminus. So they definitely, by quite some way, have the cav superiority. And we'll see how that affects the battle going forward. But we've got this ballista. Now, when my friend brings artillery, usually I will be on the defensive until that piece of artillery runs out. So that's kind of my plan here. I lurch forward more to get a because he deployed a little bit further left than I expected him to, and also it allowed me to catch his Evendom Archers. Now I don't really want to be using up my ammunition from the Loknar Rim on these Evendom Archers, but I can't just let him march right up to me and shoot my Phalanx line or any of these softer units behind. I see this opportunity. Now of course these Eastern Clan Chiefs are not forward charging, but I wasn't going to pass up that chance. Ended up not turning out too well as these spears were quick enough to get back, but at least I caused a quick kerfuffle there, and that allowed me to set up fully before he started firing off arrows toward me. Still, these Dunedain Rangers, when I saw them up here, I was very scared. And what else? He does have some Grey Company. There they are. Yep, so a lot of body piercing. Hobbit Slingers we saw as well, they popped up. Ballista, luckily helping me out. Sometimes what you can have happen, and not usually in a 2v2, but usually in the bigger battles, you'll only really use your artillery for the person in front of you, and you won't really look out for the best target. So that was something MSQ was, I was very grateful for, and also it was good use of his artillery taking out a few of these horses. Yep, I saw those Dunedain Rangers. They were rattling my flank, so I needed to do something. I thought maybe, just maybe, I could get a lucky charge if he wasn't looking. Did catch on them. So I start running off. My Loknar Rim are taking shots. I'm killing a few of them, but not enough. I'm going to slow it down a little bit because so I do. These Forest Errant Knights, I think he thinks I'm going to be just running away with my Eastern Clan Chiefs, and this will be a good chance for him to kill some Loknar Rim. But I was watching this situation. I wasn't. I was neglecting everything else that was happening and just putting my full attention here. So I was able to turn around just in time and catch his Forest Errant Knights. Now, even with my anti-cav bonus, I'm going to be minced by the Knights of Illuminus. So I know that if I'm doing this, I need to fall back and get assistance from the Silent Rim. So I managed to get him back, and he doesn't take the bait, unfortunately. But with my Sapphire Bladesman, now I'm not firing off a shot with these Sapphire Bladesmen because of what I'm doing with these Clan Chiefs. That would have been very good if those Sapphire Bladesmen had managed to get a quick volley. But because I was running back and forth over them, they couldn't. And now that when they do fire off a volley, it's too far away. A few crossbow shots came into them, which did okay, but then from his other flank, he is able to pull off quite a nice charge. I pull the Loknar Rim back, but I forget to do so with the crossbows. With him being there though, he is now in range of my tribesmen back. Yep, so he's pulled those knights back. We came out of that looking okay. We killed almost half of that Forest Errant Knight unit. Didn't lose too many. Well, we did lose quite a few of our clan chiefs, but all in all, I wasn't too upset. He pulls off a good charge there, kills a lot of my crossbows, but he's not quick enough to get out of the way of my halberdiers. And also the clan chiefs coming in just to try and really deal with this. So he ends up routing which is not really too bad a thing for him here. He's going to be routing off and they'll come back with most of their unit. I would have really preferred they stayed in combat for a little longer to take a few more losses before routing. And I think we'll go back up to normal speed. Losing micro on these guys, but I catch them in a sec. So yeah, I grab everything, move back into formation, just to again continue my archer volleys. These Evenden archers get minced a bit, but they're doing their job. They're using up my Narim ammunition, and I can't just let them fire away willy-nilly. Narim are starting to get a little bit worse for wear. This guy's down to 73, so it was something I was paying attention to, but even though they are quite high quality archers, they are there to shoot at enemies and be shot at. The more I'd rather lose a few of them, lose a few of these Gambrent behind them. Ballistics still rattling off shots. Looking at these Evenden. Oh no, nah. He's looking at these Forest Errant Knights. I wasn't able to pay much attention to what was going on over here, so I'll try to gather a bit. Imladris Riders picking away, but being countered by these archers is going to do some good. Hero Myro needs something to match them though. Corsair Pikes could do a good job, but I don't really like relying on pikes to be my only anti-cavalry force. I usually like to have some spears to counter cav. Yeah, so this is something I do a lot. You know, I think he maybe could have had his cav spread out a little bit more in order to cover this formation and get a few more kills with that charge. Again, these even though I'm coming out of every cav engagement dealing quite a few losses to the enemy, I'm just outnumbered massively. And this was a bad move for me. The Gwathi Rock Door came in, and I wanted to try and counter them with both the Scion Rim and my clan chiefs at the same time, but I mistimed it terribly. The clan chiefs made it into melee long before the Scion Rim were there to help them, and these Gwathi Rock Door just killed heaps of my clan chiefs. I hope that I did some damage to the Gwathi Rock Door, but I don't think I did much. Definitely was not a good move for me to do that. I should have, because he was just moving around behind me looking for something to charge, probably coming in for my Camel's Chosen, but I should have just waited for him to come in a little bit closer, hit him with the Sapphire Bladesman, and, you know, wait until the Scion Rim were in a better position. And Imladris Rider is able to come all the way behind these guys. As I say, we were just outdone by cavalry in this fight. Which is always, when you're on Pelennor fields, a nice flat map, and not having the cavalry advantage to the same level that we have here is not great. And Imladris Rider's out of ammunition. I don't believe that they've got a very good I don't believe they've got a very good charge bonus, but they'll certainly do something. Baljoth Tribesmen move around to reload. It was quite funny here actually. My Eastern crossbowmen, they started to fire at something. I thought nothing's in range, and I was looking ahead to see if the enemy was advancing at any stage, but it took me way too long to realise that they were actually coming around like this. So I do manage to get what's left of my clan chiefs right behind them and in front of them, and then with the Baljoth Tribesmen throwing a quick volley, I managed to wipe out that unit there. All the while that he's doing that though, I've got nothing to counter these Gwathi Rock Door, apart from the Scion Rim, which I do move. The Grey Company opening fire on me, but the good thing about this force here, the Hero Myro will do a lot more damage to it in a charge. Right, again, right, so the Bladesmen would have done so much if they got a full volley off, but I break that here. I charge my Scion Rim right through them so that they can't fire. Right, I was always wondering, like, because I got so much opportunity to fire at his Gwathi Rock Door, and they never seemed to suffer any losses. So that was why it was me sabotaging myself. by the looks of it anyway. I moved the Camel's Chosen up here because I did not want them to receive a charge. Now of course here, but I spot that nice and early and start charging back, or running back anyway. Ballista still got lots of ammunition. It's a very close position to fire here. Corsair archers spreading really deep. I think that was probably an accident, but at the end of the day, if you lose Corsair archers, you're not crying. I think really, I was dabbling for, well, I was thinking for so long about whether to just go for a charge or not. It wouldn't have been a wild charge, I would have done it in an organised fashion, but getting forward so that I could use my crossbows in range, I could use my tribesmen, and then I could hit them with my halberdiers, but I didn't want to do that while they still had such a supreme cav advantage. So my plan here was I've got no real intention to move until that ballista runs out of ammunition. Until we have used our artillery to its full benefit, I'm going to stay exactly where I am. Now while I was thinking about that, Thick Dick decides to take the plunge. I think he's either run out of ammunition. I think he ran out of ammunition with this larger unit here, and he's decided to go for it. So, that's really where you want the cav advantage. You once I actually get stuck into melee, then I cannot defend myself anywhere near as well as I've been doing. So I see him charging. I wanted to get a few more volleys out before I pulled my archers back. I allowed my crossbows to get caught, though that was dumb. Crossbows are definitely needed for these heavily armoured units. But I moved the phalanx line up to grab the spearmen. Balchoth tribesmen moving around, getting ready for these pikes mainly. That's what I want to fire them off at. Guildsmen, again, wanting to just come around for a flank. Scion Rim, I was wanting them to be sort of guarding this position, but seeing that the enemy would be able to flank all the way around me kind of scares me. So I get one of these flag rim all the way around to the flank just to stop my Gamprim being charged at that. All in all, the way through the flank right now, it's just some men at arms and some spears, so my halberdiers are going to be able to hold this. I get the flag rim in there just to knock them back. Of course their AP is not going to be what you need up against these spears, but I just wanted something there. Get the Camel's Chosen over there too. I wanted to crush this flank. I didn't actually notice the Knights of Illuminus, but once I did, I was glad I had the Camel's Chosen on this side. I get the Scion Rim back around just to guard against any possible charges from these Knights of Illuminus. But here is where things start to become very dicey. Way through Rock Door. Now I don't think he noticed these strong crossbows. I think he was wanting to come in for a charge in the back here, but they popped up out of nowhere, which did stop him. Again, the Sapphire Blazemen are not able to fire up a shot. They do a few good stabs. Knights of Illuminus coming in. It's a slow charge, but it's a charge nonetheless. Scion Rim charging away at the Gwathi Rock Door should have gotten them on the Knights of Illuminus faster. Dragon's Wrath Guildsmen, their Nathatun does ignore ignore armor. So I was wanting to experiment a bit, see how much it could do against a unit like this. I think I hit a shot there with it. The range is just really not so great with it, which I understand why the range is what it is. I don't think it should be increased, but it's just something that I had to remember. Hobbit Slingers just rattling away shots with their massive amount of ammunition. They're just going to be able to fire away all game. They've got a good shot on my back, but again, even these Narim have some decent armour, so the Balchoth tribesmen are probably the better shot. Corsair Fencers, I was lucky to have those. Over on this flank, we'll just have a quick look, and Ladris have charged in. Has our ballista run out of ammunition? I'm not seeing it. It either got caught or it was sent out there because it had very few shots left. But oh well. So that's me at half done, which is pretty scary, but we are at 33 for 40. Sorry, 33 for 48. But you've got to keep in mind, in Ladris, our elves are going to have very few men. Now, this is the main thing that kind of surprised me and surprised Inarius as well. Just how well this force here was holding out against these cav charges from the back. And these are coming from the Knights of Illuminus and from the Gwathi Rogdor. So it's... But are we going to be able to see one here? No, okay, that's against this force. But I was just so impressed by the morale of my men. Now I do have the Scion Rim getting stuck in, getting floated around. They'll provide an inspirational bonus. I've got my general right here with the Camels Chosen, who will provide again a bonus, but you know, nobody should be able to withstand too many charges from these Gwathi Rogdor and Knights of Ladris. Or sorry, Knights of Illuminus. A handful of the Grey Company left, maybe, because he's not really got anything to counter them over here. Maybe it would be better to grab them on this side. Dunedain Rangers as well. I think they might even be out of ammunition. Yeah. You know, if they had come over here, then that would have been a good shot down this line. My heavy armour and my shields would have benefited me a bit, but it's still Ranger fire, it's still hitting a lot of people. So along this main line, his pikes are actually doing pretty well. Especially in the places where I don't have Gamp Rim to counter them. Over here it's a bit more balanced. But all in all, even though he is winning, yeah, so you see, I managed to get the Gamp Rim turned around, but every time he's doing this, I'm having to pull the Gamp Rim away from the front line, which is just allowing his pikes the sort of free reign to stab away at my boys. The Dunedain Rangers coming in. Of course, the AP is absolutely lost on them. So even though I need my Scion Rim to hold back the enemy cav, I felt that I needed something in the back of this force. I needed to break it. So I pulled them all the way around to come into the back. Not many guildsmen left. They'd suffered a few charges by this point. But we get these pikes here, and we've gotten all the way around them. So we're going to be cutting them down pretty quick. Curling around the flank here, and with the Scion Rim jumping into the back. Definitely not really what you want for one of these phalanx positions. The Knights of Illuminus are stuck in here somewhere. No, actually, oh, there. Yes, so you're seeing a few of them dotted around, but they're still split off, and I'm fighting them with good men, so it's going to be tough. Scion Rim now just turned around, wanting to, because I'm pushing around on this flank. This is my strong position, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to get cav charged. Meant that my centre was though, but again, these men are holding out. They're not even wavering yet. Umbar forces here. A few of these black guards, very highly skilled. Going to be able to do alright against the elves. Ladder's Guardians stuck in. Alright, I see. They got caught by the Nuritino warriors, so they weren't able to initiate a proper charge there, by looks of things. Gwathi Arthan stuck in, but surrounded by pikes and just heavily outnumbered. They're gonna be struggling with that. And absolutely oh, right, I see. So that would be fantastic. Had these Corsairs not curled around there, and he'd been able to, or say he'd come around there, that's exactly what we want to deal with the Gwathi Arthad. Yeah, so I think this is just a case of Umbar just outnumbering the forces of Imladris, and that kind of helped to turn the tide over there. Even though we're sort of winning overall, we're just starting to lose our numbers. We're breaking in the centre, which if we lose the centre, he's going to be able to take this, curl, and hit me with a proper organised pipeline. I've still got one archer, one of the blue wizards left, just chasing these men down as best I can, but I was really upset because the Sapphire Bladesmen still had about half of their ammunition left, and they had 3 men left in the unit, and I was happy because 3, even though it's just 3 men, 3 Sapphire Bladesman javelins could help here. But then I realised it was the 2 blue wizards and the banner carrier that were left, so none of them could actually throw the javelins. I think over on the flank here, I've got, yeah, I had these, what's left of the guildsmen were just chewing through the hobbit slingers, just bit by bit. They actually lost a few of the hobbit slingers, but I think there was about 9 men left in the guildsman unit, so that was going to be enough. With their armor and their defensive skill, they're just, the hobbit slingers just couldn't really do anything against them. He was coming in for just charge after charge because he needed to break this. As you see, with my center broken, he can focus on me differently. My flank is no longer really helping me all that much. But with his cav not really being too much of an issue now, I'm able to get the Scion Rim stuck in. I break this position. And that's looking like a pretty big rout, apart from the Knights Venuminous. They're going to hold for a bit. Or the dismount Knights Venuminous anyway. Guildsmen coming on in. So I was pretty chuffed with that. I was just surprised at how well my men held out against those cav charges. I think, to be honest, this little thing here, these little ruins are really beneficial. There is Pelennor Fields is such a big open area, so it is very good for cav, but I think since most of our battling was happening in this area, he couldn't come in for a charge down this side because of this this little building here. And say if he had come around here, that gets him trapped. So and this big tree, you've got to go around that. All these things, they seem like such little objects, but you know, they would have been a nuisance for his cav, and allowed me to sort of pick off 1 or 2 of them if he had charged down that way. Knights Venuminous again, sort of pulling out. They're just going to be able to stand for a while. But with what's left of my Camel's Chosen and a few of these Scion Rim, I'm not too worried. So I just grab everything I have and throw at the Knights Venuminous at this point. He could have sort of come in for a few more cycle charges, but I think he just gets stuck in at that point and fights it out. Over on this side, got the, as I say, it's just a numbers situation. Everywhere that these Imladra's forces are fighting, we're able to, or MSQ is able to get a few of his units surrounding them. And when you've got a few units of quality, like the Sentinels and the Fencers as well, they're just going to be able to do quite well. So this was one of the very few battles that I've had where we've actually won without having cav supremacy. Cav supremacy is such an important thing in pitch battles, and I was really happy that we could we could have done that. But I think it was, as I say, it was because I had gone for the very high morale, very well experienced forces in place. I think had I gone for, and this would have been very dangerous for my standard sort of say Cardinal army, even though my Cardinal army, I take so much inspirational units, I have such a big focus on inspirational units, I still think that I would have struggled to hold out against those cav charges. And no, I was pretty happy, as I say. That ballista, I would have loved to, I should have asked MSQ how many kills that ballista got. I think it definitely was in like the hundreds. And it was, a lot of that was, you know, these expensive cav units. So that was beneficial for us, and it meant us having the artillery, even though we didn't have the cav advantage, we didn't have to charge, which is when we didn't have to attack, we didn't have to go on the offensive, which was when cav can be so powerful against you. We could stay, we could make the fight happen where we wanted it to happen, which allowed us some defense against the cav. So no, I think that was probably the case. I think it was a good choice to bring the ballista. Even though I'm not really a big fan of artillery, it does gives you control over the field so that's good. I think that's the last of the Umladris forces. Yeah. So, as I say, MSQ racking up a lot of Elven kills, so that's counting for a heck of a lot more. Even though I had gone for a pretty quality approach, I still had quite a lot of men on the field, which is, you know, I was at the end of the day I was still an evil men faction, so I'm always going to have quite a lot of soldiers. MSQ definitely having the most by far, but Thick Dick went for, say, a lot of those Evandem spears, which tends to be the go-to for Arthur Dane, from what I've seen. You know, it's a good formation that you can form with those guys and the pikes. So Camels chosen. They did quite well, but keep in mind, you know, there was a lot of Knights of Numinous dotted around there who would have easily gone toe to toe with the Camels chosen. So I was pretty happy with how they did. The Gap Rim, a nice mix, generally depending on where they are in the formation. This unit was probably, sorry, no, that was where they were spread out in the formation. Probably the higher kills were from the very aggressive ones that went out there and got stuck into the spearmen right off the bat before the pikes arrived, and then they were kind of more one-to-one. Scion Rim countering Cav most of the time, and when they aren't, they're suffering the spear malice. So no, that's not too bad. I was comfortable with that. Flag Rim, all of them nice. One of them dropping quite a bit there, probably suffering from. They were probably in the center where they lacked the support from Gap Rim, and they also definitely received most Cav charges. So that's not too bad. The Guildsmen, I think I focused a bit too much on using the Guildsman's Mafeton. It's something I wanted to see how it would face off against these really powerful knight units, and see if it was a half decent counter to them. So I think had I gotten them stuck into, say, the back of the enemy force really early on, they could have gotten more kills, and so many of those kills were Hobbit Slingers. At least half of those kills were Hobbit Slingers, so, you know, I definitely did underutilize them. Unfortunate for the Sapphire Bladesman. Every charge into the Sapphire Bladesman, at least, was a charge that wasn't put into the main line, so I should be grateful for that. But I interrupted their throwing so much, so that was dumb of me. Baljoth Tribesmen did good. Yep. Took a lot of enemy ranged fire focus, so yep, cool. Narem, yeah, so many of those kills were just Evandem archers, but nope, good stuff. Crossbows, I allowed them to get charged. They still had so much ammo at the end. You know, yep, somebody had to suffer those charges. And the Clan Chiefs, I would have loved to see what they could have done had I not been foolish enough to throw them into the Gwythi Rook door at that point. But no, again, I think it was just they had to charge us, and they were hoping, or they were expecting me to break. I was expecting me to break, so that really won it for us here. I think MSQ definitely had the right choice in order to counter the Umladris army that he was facing. Just a lot of numbers to get around every unit a few times. But yeah, no, it was fun. Something I'll state right now, I've gotten word for when I'm leaving to go back to work, so I'll be disappearing for anywhere between 2 months and 3 months. So this, I should hopefully get another video or two out before I leave, but if this is the last video that I pop out for a while, you know, I've definitely not given up on the whole YouTube thing. It's just that I'm going to be busy. But thank you very much.